It's a huge pleasure and honor for me to introduce and welcome you to the very first conference on medical imaging and deep learning. And of course, we hope this is the first in a long series of exponential growth in this conference. We are already here with 300 people, which is 150 more than we had hoped for, so it's really already a great success. Thank you all for showing up here. So how did it start? Well, about a year ago, we got together with a bunch of people who were interested in deep learning and experts in medical imaging. Oh, here's the card if you wanted the public transportation card. So we got together and we applied for a grant for at the Dutch government to do research in this important field, which got awarded. And so this is together with these universities here at the top line and these companies here, which we're also paying alongside the Dutch government. And last year we started a first workshop on this topic. And again, we sold out very quickly with 100 people at that point. And we thought, well, and it was supported by CFAR, but this was great. And so we thought, well, this is a great success. We should keep on going with this. And we were inspired by the model with which basically if you think about how NIPS relates to iClear, so there's a lot of, so NIPS is a machine learning conference and there's a lot of deep learning going on. So much, in fact, that they spun off a conference called iClear, which is basically solely focused on deep learning. And it's already growing very fast with thousands of people. And we thought we can do the same thing with this field, where MICI is a conference on medical imaging. And there's a huge amount of interest there already in deep learning, and we thought, well, this is a topic that deserves its own conference, and that's why we started this conference here today. Next slide, please. I do it here. Right, and so these are the people who organized this for you today, and in particular, the ones at the top here are the ones who did most of the work together with Felice here, and we did a little bit of work, but not nearly as much as the program chairs. I just already want to start with giving a big hand to these people who did, sacrifice so much of their time to organize this for you. Okay, so let's look at some statistics for this conference. So the number of attendees at this point is 294. We've sold out. Many people, we had to decline access, unfortunately. So we could have been a lot bigger if we had known upfront. Number of PC members which helped with reviewing all the papers were 28, and the number of reviewers 103. We had 534 reviews being done on the submitted papers. There is 112 submitted papers and 99 abstracts. We accepted 47 full papers at an acceptance rate of 41%, and we accepted 35 abstracts at an acceptance rate of 35. So in some sense, abstracts are more exclusive than full papers. And then also we had 23 sponsors who were supporting us for this conference, and we are very grateful for them at a total of 55,000 euros. So here's the sponsors at the different levels. So we are very happy, and we thank them for their contribution. So here's the distribution of the number of attendees with nations. So obviously, since we're in the Netherlands, at this point, the Netherlands has the most attendees. But you can see it's already quite international, which is great promise for the future. And in fact, next year it's going to be in the United Kingdom. And so thanks for all those people coming from very far, to come to this conference. And then the number of accepted papers here, unfortunately, Netherlands was second after the United Kingdom, but so they had a double success. Yesterday they also advanced in the soccer games. It's great. And also here we see papers from many, many countries, and that's, I think, a very healthy sign that we are very international already at the start. So now I would like to hand over the mic to John Hepburn, who is Vice President Research at CFAR, who has been supporting us last year and again this year very generously. And therefore, John, please have a few words.
Thanks, Max. So first of all, it's a great pleasure to be here, and it is a great pleasure to support this meeting. The C in CFAR stands for Canadian, so that's where I'm coming from. But we're an international organization, about 36 years old, and we were founded by a visionary guy called Fraser Mustard, a public health researcher, on the simple premise that if you want to address deep problems that are of importance globally, the best way to do that is to bring together a couple of dozen of the world's leading scholars and sort of lock them in a room for a couple of days, 2 or 3 times a year, and have them discuss their research in some detail. And we would argue this has been very successful. And in fact, the very first program, one of the very first programs that CFAR supported was artificial intelligence and robotics, starting in the 80s. That kind of petered out in the 90s, as much artificial intelligence research did. And then this strange guy, Jeff Hinton, came to CFAR and said, I've got an idea, why don't we create deep learning? Jeff had been working on this, obviously. It was not a new idea, but CFAR decided that it was a strange enough idea that it was exactly the sort of thing that we like to support. CFAR has programs in everything from successful societies studying inequality in society on through to gravity in the extreme universe, studying what you'd expect them to study with a title like that. And what was originally neural computation and adaptive perception was a program that was started in 2004 with Jeff as the leader. It went through a few changes, is now called Learning in Machines and Brains. We have 2 members of Learning in Machines and Brains in the front row, and probably some people in the audience who are associated with it. And it's currently being run by Jan LeCun and Joshua Bengio. We're very proud of the program, but it's one of, as I say, there are 11 other programs in many, many different areas. I've just come from meetings on brain, mind, and consciousness, on the roots of human and non-human consciousness. And another program, Institutions, Organizations, and Growth, just had a meeting at London School of Economics studying the difference between successful and unsuccessful societies and what kinds of institutions contribute to those sorts of things. So this is the kind of work that CFAR does. I encourage you, if you want to learn more, cfar.ca, we're easy to find. I would also encourage any of you in the audience who are beginning scholars at the start of your independent research career as assistant professors or equivalent to look up our Global Scholars Program. Graham is a shining example of the Global Scholars Program. Very generous program for starting researchers. It's a little difficult to get these things. The success rate is dropping below 10%. But you're welcome to look. It's again described on the cfar.ca website, and it's an application process, so feel free to apply. CFAR is open to the world. Global scholars certainly don't have to be Canadian. In fact, most of them are non-Canadian, so you're all welcome to apply, and you're welcome to look up cfar.ca. So it's a pleasure to be here. I'm looking forward to learning about medical imaging and deep learning, and I hope you all have a great time this week.
Next slide, please. This is for Geert, yes.
Hi, welcome all. Just some short practicalities for today, tomorrow, and Friday. And I'll try to go over this quick so we can get on with the keynote. So this is for the people who are presenting here at this conference. So for oral presentations, technician is in the back. If you need support with your presentation, please visit them. Ideally, not during your session, but before. We have headset microphones for all presenters, so make sure you make yourself known to the technician before your session so that you can get equipped. For the presentations, please put them up before lunch today. The boards are all around this floor. Pins are provided, and the numbers are in the top left corner, very small sheet. And of course, please be present during your allocated slot at the poster session. Short thing for the breaks. So you might have noticed a couple of coffee machines, but there are coffee machines all around the first floor. So please don't stop and queue for the first one you see. Just walk around and go to the other ones. Makes you get your coffee much earlier and makes everybody more happy during the day. Lunch is served across from the poster room during the lunch break. For tonight, for the people who signed up for the reception and dinner, the route is in the conference book. It's an easy 2-kilometer walk, should take you no more than 15 to 20 minutes. And if you really want to go by public transport, because you really don't want to walk 2 kilometers, the instructions are on the website and available in print at the conference desk. You can already do your museum tour starting from 5:30. Guides are available, so they can give you knowledgeable information about what you're looking at. Dinner starts at 7, but the bar already opens at 6, so if you finish your museum visit early, you can already have a drink. You can, of course, travel there by yourself, but a group will leave here from Hotel Casa, so if you meet in front of the hotel at 5, then you can walk together in the group, so then you don't have to look for it yourself. Make sure you bring your badge or your ticket if you're an extra guest, so we can check that you actually signed up for the reception. So I think that's mostly it, and then I'll hand off to Max to introduce our first keynote.